and that the body was actually found in the Loire River. Modern historians want us to believe that all of these Jews were burned over a splash, and no other evidence. 8 years later, the body of another boy is found with evidence of crucifixion and drained of blood after Passover. The victim is a 12-year-old boy named Richard. He receives a martyr's burial at the Cemetery of the Holy Innocents. Philip II, the 15-year-old king, is deeply outraged by the killing. The king's chaplain, Father Philippe de Rigard, a Jewish convert, writes, "The Jews who dwelt in Paris, every year, on Easter Day, or during the sacred week of our Lord's Passion, go down secretly into underground vaults and kill a Christian as a sort of sacrifice, in contempt of the Christian religion." King Philip expels Jews from the royal domain of France in 1182, but they are still allowed in French territories. A Jewish man is reportedly killed by a Christian. Countess Blanche of Champagne gives the Jews permission to execute the man on Purim in commemoration of Haman. The man is killed as a mockery to Christ. King Philip hears of this, invades the town and burns over 80 Jews. 2 years later, the Countess Agnes de Dreux gives a murdering thief over to the Jews. The Jews crucify him and drain him of blood. A 2-year-old Christian girl is found dead in the city moat, with ritual stab wounds. The Jews confess under torture. 10 Jews are killed by a mob after a dead child is found with ritual stab wounds. In Paris, the church would recognize and approve a miracle. A Christian woman pawned some of her belongings to a Jewish pawnbroker. He tells her if she wants her things back, to bring him a consecrated host from the church. On Easter Sunday, she returns with the host, and the man takes it to his home. The man stabs the host, and it begins to bleed. He panics and throws the host into boiling water. The host levitates out, glows and turns into the shape of a cross. He puts the host in a basin and gives it to a pious woman. The woman takes it to the church. The pawnbroker is convicted and burned at the stake. His home is converted into a chapel that still stands today. The host, however, was lost during the French Revolution. The Jews are expelled again in 1306 by King Philip IV, and a final time in 1394 under King Charles. On Christmas Day, 5 children are killed in a fire while their parents are at church. It is believed by the locals that Jews killed them and drained them of blood. Crusaders who were in the area help a mob in killing over 30 Jews. Holy Roman Emperor Frederick II is given conflicting data from church authorities on the matter. He assembles Jewish converts to Christianity for an investigation. The converts say that Jewish law strictly forbids consuming any blood. The emperor then exonerates the Jews of this crime. 11 Jews are executed after admitting under torture to murdering a child. The same year, an entire community of Jews are burned at the stake for host desecration. The hill they were burned on was named Jew Hill until 1945. In 1247, Pope Innocent IV issues a declaration against mob violence towards Jews. Just 3 years prior, Pope Innocent ordered Louis IX of France to burn all copies of the Talmud. Accusations against Jews and mob violence would not stop. In Munich, a synagogue is burned, killing over 180 Jews inside. The body of a 16-year-old boy named Werner is found floating in the Rhine River. On Holy Thursday, it was believed the Jews had lured the boy into a home and tortured him for 3 days. He was hung upside down and completely drained of blood. Anti-Jewish violence erupts all over the Rhineland, and King Rudolf I intervenes, not believing in the accusations. He orders the body of Werner burned. Werner was venerated until 1963 as the patron saint of winemaking, because he worked in a vineyard. In 1298, a German nobleman named Rindfleisch would start a massacre. When Jews in his area are accused of host desecration, he declares that he has received a mandate from heaven to avenge the sacrilege. After burning the Jews in his hometown of Reutlingen, he and his mob destroy over 100 Jewish communities and kill between 20 and 100,000 Jews. In Nuremberg, the Jews seek refuge in a fortress with the help of some Christians. But Rindfleisch overpowers them and kills all the Jews. Israel Yuval documents Jewish chroniclers who wrote of Jews ritually sacrificing their own children during German pogroms, instead of having them be forcibly converted. The women there girded their loins with strength and slew their sons and their daughters, and then themselves. Many men too plucked up courage and killed their wives, their sons, their infants. Those who were slain exposed their throats for their heads to be severed, also slaughtering one another, man, his friend, his kin, his wife, his children. Are we to believe that the Jews wouldn't ritually sacrifice Christian children when they were sacrificing their own? The Jews in Spain opened the gates of Toledo to Muslim invaders, while Christians were worshipping during Palm Sunday. It was a massive turning point at the heart of Spain. That led to the Muslims controlling up to 90% of the Iberian Peninsula. The Jews thrived as a protected class, having an intellectual and cultural renaissance called the Jewish Golden Age. Jewish merchants were critical in the medieval slave trade. Jews played a significant role in bringing slaves into Spain and castrating the males, because Muslim law prohibited castration. Slavic women were also in high demand for harems and as concubines, valued for their light complexion and exotic appeal. As the Spanish reclaimed land during the Reconquista, accusations of Jewish ritual murder began to emerge. A 7-year-old choir boy named Domingo is kidnapped by a Jew and given to a death cult. Jews are convicted of crucifying the boy. Domingo is still venerated as the patron saint of choir boys today. Forced conversions of Jews occur all over Spain. Some Jews move to the islands. On Good Friday, Jews crucify a Muslim boy instead of a Christian. Prominent members of the Jewish community are put to death. The rest of the island is forced to be baptized or die. The Jews and Muslims who converted were secretly practicing their old faith. Pope Sixtus IV authorizes King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella to start the Inquisition. Public opinion would turn against the Inquisition until a chief inquisitor is assassinated by 5 Jews while he is about to receive communion. Peter of Arbuse would be canonized as a saint. A mix of 9 converts and Jews admit to crucifying a boy in a cave. They are all executed. The victim is known as the Holy Child of LaGuardia. Historians say no body or evidence was produced. The Archdiocese of Madrid published an article in 2015 asserting that the events had actually taken place. After the Christian conquest was complete, Ferdinand and Isabella issue a decree ordering all unconverted Jews to leave Spain. As Europe enters the Renaissance era, we will see some of the most famous accusations against the Jews. Three Jewish merchants are returning from a fair. While walking through a small village, they come across a 3-year-old boy named Andreas. The Jews find out that the mother is far from home reaping wheat, and the boy is in the care of his godfather. They get the man drunk and convince him to sell the child, promising he will have a better life of ease and comfort. The child is sold for a handful of gold coins. The Jews take the child into the woods, slaughter him on a boulder, and collect his blood. The mother would discover the body later. The godfather is interrogated and confesses to selling the child. He is condemned to perpetual imprisonment in his own house. The village would be renamed Judenstein, meaning Jewstone. A church was built around the boulder, and for centuries was a site for Christian pilgrimage. In 1994, Bishop Reinhold Stecker banned the veneration, removed the relics from the church, and forbid the pilgrimage due to its anti-Semitic nature. The stone is now used to display the agony of Jesus in the garden. What were the Jews actually doing with the Christian blood they extracted? Our next case, one of the most documented murders by Jews, will give us direct insight into the ritual and the use of the blood. The case is similar to the ones before, but the difference here is most of the records from the trials still survive today. A 2-year-old boy named Simon